I'm Rosemarie Rafael, President and CEO of Airspeed Group of Companies, and I wanted to discuss or talk about our journey from being an offline traditional freight forwarder to being a digitalized online service provider. The shift to online has been accelerated due to the pandemic last year. And the premise is that the internet is going to be stronger in different niches. It has never been easier to launch an internet business until now because of the many platforms that are available like Shopify or ClickTunnels. And more people are shifting to having their own websites or coming up with different social media platforms. For some, it can be omni-channels, offline, online, pick up, buying something online and then picking it up, or picking it up at curbside or from the store. Or it can be a blend of both. So, Airspeed, which is our company that has been there for 35 years, has been a traditional freight forwarder. And the shift that we've been having did not only happen last year, but it has been accelerated due to the pandemic. We came up initially with the air freight business, then the sea freight business, warehousing, cross-dock, customs clearance, cross-border, and a few years back when websites or e-commerce platforms have been coming up, we came up with the last mile delivery and also the e-fulfillment enabler platforms. So when that happened last year, I remember that I was talking to an airline because we wanted to charter an aircraft from Manila to Cebu. I remember it was a Friday and the charter was supposed to be on a Wednesday or Thursday the week after. But pandemic lockdown happened the week after. And I did not know what to do. I was stunned because the shipment that was supposed to be from America did not come in. We chartered the aircraft and we already paid for it, and we had to fly it out on a Wednesday. We were the only aircraft that had the permit for that week to fly because all commercial airlines were canceled. That was an incident or a situation where we were able to turn adversity into opportunity. We were stunned, yes, but we flew it anyway. And we had all the essential products, PPEs, masks, and other items that we flew in from Manila to Cebu and coming back from Cebu to Manila. That was the beginning of charters that we've been having for a month or two or more. We saw the need. We feel in the need. We were in the retail niche at the time because most of our customers were retail and they were closed. Malls were closed, but we were able to make a shift. We were able to adapt and we were able to move the essentials for our stakeholders. Pivoting is fine where necessary, but planning without execution is a waste of time. We planned and executed. Of course, it was difficult to plan because every day is a new day. It's like so many changes on a day to day, but we had to really listen and put our ears and eyes on the ground to see what's happening, what's going on. And at the same time, taking care of the people that we have who are actually our frontliners delivering the essentials and doing the things that are necessary to make sure that we deliver all the items on time. We needed to make decisions fast enough and adapt to what is happening. This is one important thing that I would like to advise the business people, that we have to be agile. We have to really make quick decisions. And once decision is made, we really have to stick to it and plan for how to execute. We listened to our customers who really needed solutions for their problems that they were going through during that time. We needed to find out what is really important to them. And we had to also learn through this journey. We had to make sure that if there is anything that we're not familiar with, because there's so many uncertain things, we had to make sure that we study everything, review everything, validate, confirm, and execute. So how do we transition from being an offline business to an online business? One, we have to get out of the box. Or sometimes there is really no need for a box. Or really come up with a situation where there will be no restrictions, no limitations. I needed to make sure that we engage our own people. It was difficult at the time because everything is work from home or lockdown is in place, and there were areas where we cannot even enter. But it is important to engage. It is important to connect with your people. It is important to make sure that they are not focusing on the negative, but focusing on what we can control, because there's so many things that we cannot control. But all those things that cannot be controlled, we just have to lift it to God. We focus on what we can control. It is important too that we assess not only the mental, physical, but the emotional setup of our people, because it can be depressing when it change right away. So we have to make sure that they are physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally well. We have to take care of the well-being of our people. We came up with health protocols, of course, but we provided vitamin C to our frontliners. We provided meals during the lockdown. And in fact, providing meals for them was really just like a stepping stone to what we tried doing also for the other frontliners in the hospitals. While we were preparing food for our own people, we also prepared food for the frontliners in the hospitals. We started delivering food to the hospitals, and we decided that, aside from the fact that the company is coming up with the funds for this, our own people donated and came up with funds to be able to increase our donation to the hospitals. Friends and other companies actually helped us out, and we were able to raise almost 1 million of pesos worth of food that we delivered to all these hospitals. This is something that we are proud of. Aside from the fact that we did not let go of people during that time in the logistics business, we had like a 4-day work week. But I am so proud of our team because they were working Monday to Saturday, no limitations. It can be even up to nighttime, because I did that the same way. During those times, because of the uncertainty, we had to work harder. We had to work longer to be able to overcome those things that were happening during that time. Number 2, improve our positioning or reposition. Most of the clients that we served before COVID were the retailers, tenants in the malls, people, institutions actually that were doing non-essentials. But all those companies, as we know, stopped for months. And we had to position ourselves or reposition ourselves to tapping the other companies that were moving during that time. Tapping the companies that were needed at that time. And these are the pharma companies, the non-essential products. Those were the companies that needed help for their items to be delivered. And we came in at the right time because that was when we were needed the most. There were limitations in deliveries, limitations in the capacity of airlines or even shipping lines. So we were delivering for them. We positioned ourselves also to a niche, which is food delivery. I cannot say that we're in the on-demand food delivery because this is a different model, but we came up with a new concept which is called modified on-demand. We situated ourselves in different locations. Like we started with 3 locations, but now we're in almost 42 locations where we have dedicated drivers to deliver not only food, but also groceries. We came up with a digital platform at that time, which is called Speed FoodX, where food merchants can register and they are given credentials, and then any calls for delivery or anything that they can come up with in terms of their social media platforms are in the platform, and it is pushed to our dashboard, and we dispatch the rider to their stores for delivery to our mutual customers. So this is like a B2C delivery or B2C business model. So the dine-in restaurants really had some difficulties. They really had issues about being online as well because they never had any websites in the past. Very few restaurants would have the websites wherein you can also order. You can also trigger payment options. So it is really a transformation, not only for the restaurants, but for a lot of companies. The food merchants we were handling were basically doing single deliveries. And of course, the peak times are always at the same time, which is lunchtime and dinner time. So we had to come up with innovation, but it's only technology that will be able to help us come up with the solutions. Digitalization is really important, especially during this time. We started delivering for 2 stream food merchants, and now we're increasing it, especially for those that are pre-booked or planned deliveries, which is going to be easier for us because we're not into crowdsourcing. We have our own people that deliver, and we pay them on a monthly basis. But crowdsourcing is a different item, which you're more familiar with for sure, which is like the Lalamove and the likes of those other providers. Number 3, be flexible and adapt. Anticipate changes because we cannot be stifled by this is the policy, this is the thing that we have to do, because changes happen. And we have to learn how to adapt to changes. Changes that basically are aligned to what we believe in, our principles, and our basic values. As long as we know what we do best, then we can easily come up with a change and adapt. Be ready as well to set aside plans that we have made, admit the mistakes, and embrace a new course. Nothing is perfect, but we know that when we do things on a consistent basis, we will be able to achieve something of excellence. Build a high performance culture. The culture that has been set in any of your businesses will be able to help us meet the challenges of today's situation. Rapid pace of change in business is there. And we really have to come up with a sort of business solutions that will help our customers. At the end of the day, it's really like giving what we know best for our customers and coming up with the business solutions. It's not going to be just like a how do you say that, a customized type or consultative selling that is really needed. We came up also with another platform called Unbox Me PH. These concepts have been born out of pandemic. We had to look for what is needed, and I encourage each and everyone here to see what is needed in the market and try to fulfill or try to fill in that need. You don't have to be a general thing to everyone, but you can be in a certain niche and see what resources you have, what skills you have that you can really contribute to being a solution to the customers that you serve. The Unbox Me PH is a platform where Filipinos can order online overseas. We are started with America, so we have our own office in Los Angeles, and Filipinos who would like to order on different American websites can order and be delivered to our warehouse in Los Angeles. We do our own consolidation. Any personal effects that you would like to bring in by air, we bring it in on a weekly basis and we deliver these door to door. The portal that we came up with is something wherein you can already know the shipping charges and also the duties and taxes, estimate of duties and taxes on the portal. So when you come in, when you bring in the products, you already know the shipping charges. We advise you of the products as soon as it is received in the warehouse, and you are updated or posted on the track and trace or whereabouts of the shipment. Because we believe that visibility is critical, especially during these times. When we deliver something, visibility is important. Well, customers would really like to know where their shipments are or when it is coming. So it is important that we achieve this, and we can only do this through technology or through innovation of the digital systems that we have. Shopify and other platforms are very important. And this is one of the easiest way where people can really come up with their websites. If you're wanting to come up with a website, it is easier now than ever because there's so many other options you can come up with. Payment gateway options are also there. People can now pay. You don't really have to do a COD as much as possible, especially for food. There are payment options like PayMaya, Paynamics, Paymongo, so many other options that you can come up with. So these are the things that you can also do in your own business. COD, of course, is very important. But then again, we would really like to encourage contactless payment as much as possible, especially during this time. Number 4, have the right perspective. What we see around depends on our elevation. What we see depends on our perspective. So, do we have the right perspective? I mean, yes, we see that there are limitations, there are restrictions. We're on ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, whatever it is. It shouldn't really affect our perspective because we always have to look at the positive despite all this. We cannot come up with excuses despite all of this. Come up with business solutions for your customers and see what is realistic to be applied. Take authority over things and situations that will cause shifts and bring us favor in the marketplace where we are in. Have a situational analysis or awareness of the market. Where are we at right now? Well, we know that airlines and shipping lines have difficulties. We have very restricted capacity when it comes to airlines. Not all carriers are operating on full capacity. Sad to say, unfortunately, our shipping lines are also having the same problem. The ports are congested. There is a lack of containers right now. So in effect, our businesses in export and import are affected. Orders are not coming in because raw materials are very slow in coming in. Customs clearance is also quite slow due to the restrictions that are happening in the Bureau of Trade, Bureau of Customs. So most of the government agencies are also work from home. So there's really going to be delays in every transaction that we come up with. But because of this, we came up also with a lot of resellers. As you will know, there are so many resellers that were born during this time. People who lost their jobs because of factories not operating came up with their own businesses at home, like maybe food products or farming or any other items that you can come up with to be able to overcome these challenges. So we also came up with an app that we call Airspeed to be able to help the resellers book and track inventory and track their deliveries. Airspeed is going to be launched this June, and I'm very proud of this application because it is something that would serve the the entrepreneurs, the small businesses, the resellers. This is something that has been thought of during this time. So Pinaspeed will help the resellers and also we came up with some other small entrepreneurs in the provinces, even in Visayas and Mindanao, where they can use this and book the shipments. We are tying up with some institutions and some agencies to help the constituents that they have in a particular municipality and help promote the products that they have online on different platforms. Some resellers or some companies are selling on the biggest platforms that we have, the websites of Lazada and Shopee. And we came up also with another option wherein we have the e-fulfillment platform where their inventory can be taken in our warehouse and we are able to piece and pick and pack and dispatch to either of the platforms that they have. There will be easier inventory control, warehouse management, and also on the transport management system. All of these things that we are doing, even before COVID, are really towards technology improvement and enhancement. Because this is the way to scale up. If you're starting a small business, it's okay to do it manually, but down the line, you really have to adapt and come up with technology to help you scale up. There are many things that we can do to be able to market it because sometimes we say, okay, I came up with my own website, but how do I market it? How do I let people know that, hey, I have a website? Because really and truly, marketing is very crucial, especially during these times. And some tips on marketing, digital marketing. Number one is to focus on organic social Instagram marketing. We have to look at the content, collaboration, and consistency of what you are trying to tell your audience or your market. What do you want your brand to be? What is your brand promise? And are you able to really make sure that your brand promise is being fulfilled? Like for Airspeed, we came up with a brand promise of we make it happen. So we really have to make sure that we make it happen. Number two, build an email list. Database is very important. Yes, there is a data security issue at the moment and we really have to abide by that, but really come up with your own customer data. If the institutions or other companies are using other platforms wherein orders are just being pushed to them and that platform just informs the merchant that, okay, I have an order, so please fulfill it. You don't own the data and you don't have the customer data. So it is important that you really come up with your own customer data for future use wherein you can do your own promotions, your own marketing to your own customer. Number three, upsell or cross-sell. This is always being reminded to me because when I see commercials, whether it's like any big food companies or even when I order from Jollibee or even McDonald's, they always ask me, would you like a bigger tub of soda for only this much? That's really upselling. That's really great because, you get more for the value. And then you cross-sell because if you do have different products or different affiliates, then you cross-sell one another. That's additional resource or another income that you can come up with. So see the products or the services that you have and see what your customers may be needing. Number four, come up with bloggers or connect with them or micro-influencers. Who are these people in different industries or different products who can help you promote the products that you have? Or value for value. Maybe you can come up with gifting them with your own products so they can try the products that you're selling. Or come up with promotions or even freebies for them to try. Your relationships with communities are very important. That's like tribal communities that they have. Number 5, content marketing. Keyword search, that's the SEO, which is search engine optimization. It must be relevant. When I search for something, what comes out first? Is it really like if you search logistics, is my name up there? Is Airspeed up there? If you search on a certain food product, what comes out? If you're searching for, let's say, kakanin, what comes out? Is your name there? So search engine is very, very important. Number 6, utilize customer reviews. Do you have customer reviews? That's why right now it's very important to do what you're doing with excellence because information is everywhere. I remember when I was going to school, and that's not too long ago. I used to research in library and encyclopedia. Can you imagine how it was before compared to now when everything is Googleable? You can Google anything, you can research anything, even names of people, names of companies, or even products for that matter. So everything can be researched. So you are not selling your product alone, but also the experience. So very important is customer experience. How is it from beginning till end? You have to go through the customer journey. How do you sell the product? From the ordering to the customer service, to the selection of the item, to the delivery, and how is the delivery achieved? So set up a post-purchase review. Number 7, create viral giveaways. Share the ability. Encourage each person to share the competition. So I see a lot of contests that's happening on Viber groups or even on Facebook. So they come up with gifts for those people who actually answer whatever questions that they have online or review the products that they have. Because this is very important in engaging our customers or potential customers. Number 8, text message abandoned cart. We really have to make sure that the cart is not abandoned when when a customer orders. Because sometimes it is the difficulty of really doing the checkout or doing the ordering or even putting the shipping details. These are the things that we have to go through when we have our own website. How is a customer experience when they are doing their own ordering? Number 9 is retail business strength is in the product, whether offline or online. Do you have a good product? Is the product something that is needed or demanded by a lot of people? Is this something that is with good quality? Because it's not just in the quantity alone, but it's in the quality of the product. Product review is so important. In fact, in Amazon, there's always a product review. And before I purchase anything, I look at the product review. If I see something that's not really good, then I don't go ahead with the ordering of the product. Number 10, Facebook and Instagram video ads. Create captions. Create a brand narrative. I think YouTube, so many people are on YouTube right now. They have their own talks on YouTube or even video of products that they sell. And on Instagram, when I see products with video, when I watch it, there is really a temptation to purchase because, oh, this looks nice. Oh, this is so good. So those are the things that we can work on when you have a product to sell or product to promote. But make sure that you are convinced that the product that you are selling is of good quality and you yourself will buy the particular product. Number 11, tribes or community groups. I mentioned this a while ago when there are Viber groups that are being set up for food ordering or for any product that you want to sell or even frozen items. I see Viber groups with ice cream, with frozen items like chicken and pork. Those are the Viber groups, and there's a weekly order and a weekly delivery of all these items in villages. So they came up with a village or like a hub and spoke type of delivery wherein there's a hub and then a particular person in that hub will do the deliveries in that particular area. So, number 12, chatbots and FB message capabilities. You have to be able to enhance this. And if you have a website, is anyone really answering the questions on the website? Can they chat on the website? Are there chatbots on the website? So very important that you have somebody also monitoring all the inquiries or questions on the website. 13, connect your platform to online payment gateway for options, because there are so many platforms right now. We have PayMaya, PayMongo, Paynamics. To me, I'd like to encourage contactless payments. And this is going to be easier for you because when you deliver food, especially if it's in bulk, there's no reason for them not to accept it, because sometimes people change their mind. And if it's not paid for, they can change their mind. So as much as possible, eliminate COD and come up with contactless payment options. But if COD is still necessary, then go ahead and do it. But then be very careful, because the main problem of COD are the returns. And there is also cost in returns. So you have to really make sure that the returns are not that much. And the rejection of the items that are being delivered is not that much percentage-wise. If the COD helps you in terms of increasing the volume of your shipments, that's something that you have to come up with a balance with. So I encourage you to just make a study of the payment options that you have and encourage you to see the balance. Number 14, other shipping options for your customers, because there's so many other aggregators right now, or even service delivery providers, the on-demand, and what we have is the modified on-demand, or even the regular usual service providers. So look at the options that you have, and look at also the cost. Look at also the capability and trustworthiness of the service provider that you're going to use, because you're entrusting your items to them. So it's very important that you secure also the items very well. Let's go back to the learnings. So it's very important that we see the different social media platforms. I've mentioned about FB, about Instagram, and one thing that I failed to mention a while ago is TikTok. I did TikTok, for your information, one time. I felt crazy. I felt funny, but then it's something that people really look at. There's also YouTube and other platforms that we can look, and then people really like to look at this. And you can promote whatever products that you have on different social media platforms. Was there a risk? Yes, of course. It was a calculated one, but we need to have faith that it can be done. We had to do it for the stakeholders. I believe that offline and online will be there as omnichannels to give customers choices. It's going to be there more than ever. I have not seen as many Viber communities on social media as now. Filipinos know how to adapt as now, and they innovate. When we see what others cannot see, then we cannot go to places where they cannot go. Let us continue to drive change and adapt, and relentlessly focus on what matters most. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat, at maraming salamat.